What's up, everybody? We're back with Blood Bowl 3. We're gonna keep on doing our climb with the Elven Union team. As you can see, we're in the top 2,000. Not the best spot, but not the worst. We're just gonna keep shooting. We're gonna go for 30 games, and then we're gonna see how our position is. We're against Dark Elves, it looks like. Now, we were down a player after the last game, but that should be fine. We're gonna be giving our opponent petty cash for sure, as their TV appeared to be less than ours. I believe they actually have a very basic start for the Dark Elf team. 6 linemen, a thrower, an assassin, 2 blitzers, and a witch elf. I believe a lot of people run this without even taking the assassin or runner. So it's 11 players. We'll see how much petty cash he gets. Now, I hope they eventually add that it'll show us our opponent's reserve of petty cash, but unfortunately, as it stands, we do not get that information.
Star player. Oh, this match just gets more and more
looks like
exciting.
he brought helmets. Oof, chainsaw piece is gonna be a bit rough to deal with. We're actually probably gonna take the ball and try to score as quickly as possible with it, so that we can get him off the field. Now, our opponent could just not field him, as he does have the secret weapon. So, after a half, if your opponent does not have a bribe, he'll actually be sent off. Now, our opponent does have to field him for that to take into account. Now, I know a lot of people don't take the assassins or the runners on the Dark Elf team just because the Dark Elf team is more or less supposed to be the tanky of the Elf teams, and those pieces are lacking in armor comparatively. So you lose out on a little bit of what you want there. Now, our opponent did in fact not put helmet on the pitch, which is both good and bad for us. Now, we are going to want to keep people on the side, because with elves you always have to be worried about them attempting to steal the ball. It's going to be a very screen heavy game for both sides, for sure.
Prepare their formations.
Now, he did put his assassin on the line of scrimmage, which is good for us, because it means we can hopefully get a hit on him and do a decent amount of damage, as he only has the same armor as us, unfortunately. We are not in a spot to win the bashing game in this one. However, if we can get a few key hits, we'll actually turn that around very quickly. This is one of those matchups where a couple pieces are going to definitely be the difference. So, him having the chainsaw piece is very terrifying. Now, it looks like he actually stuck a couple more players onto us, so we're just going to take our hits along the line after we screen off our opponent's entrances to the ball. And we're just going to start swinging. Now, that's a great start for us, getting a knockout right out of the gate. Now, I do want to use the block hit on the assassin, because I'd rather...
I should probably say something meaningful to all our Cabal Vision viewers. All I can think of is splat.
And we're just going to systematically go down this line and punch ourselves a bunch of elves.
Constantly rising around on the ground.
Now his body can move freely.
Oh, and we get a second knockout. That is a huge advantage for us. I'm actually going to blitz his blitzer here.
Oh dear. I hope that player has written a will, Bob.
Written? Players can barely speak, Jim, let alone write.
Pull back a little bit.
You've interviewed enough of them.
And we're actually going to pick up the ball instead of going for our loner hit here first.
The ball is in the player's
It's
hands.
secured, so we're just going to take the hit. And that is about as good as a first turn as we could get in this matchup. We're knocking out 2 pieces. We're now up 2 players. And he's not even fielding the star player, which we were scared of. So we should be able to get a very easy chance of scoring here. However, elves can always pull some stuff. He does make a rush as his first action and uses a reroll, which puts him down to 1. Now on turn 1, that's a very dangerous proposition. I may have even just let that fall over and accepted it.
Haha, here's some friends.
Now our opponent is just marking all of our players. Now, normally you would think since his team is the better one at bashing that that's a good idea. But since we're getting all the hits, and he is not getting the hits, he's simply
See how this player is going to handle this.
getting hit, getting put on the ground, and then only getting 1 hit per turn back.
Now it's free as a fork
This is
in
a
thunderstorm.
very dangerous situation. And he does actually get a frenzy trap into a go for it, which fails into a 1 dice. You have to be very careful with frenzy because of movements like that.
That player should punch the other enemy players quickly before trying anything else.
So we're actually going to knock this witch elf into
This
our
player
blitzer.
likes to be
Possibly.
well assisted in a fight.
Pretty easy hit there.
They're still
Gives us another follow-up hit. Sadly, looks like our blitzer does not take her out. But we're just going to stick the blitzer there. And we're actually going to blitz over here and just kind of knock as many of the elves down as we can, I think.
That's it. Cross it back and then
I'm
pow!
going to create a small little screen forward onto the field here, I believe. We're just going to stick the ball right inside that little pocket. And we're just going to whack the rest of these
The
elves.
attacker has an assist.
Now, we don't want to put the
Now
elf
everybody can move
even on the
freely.
ground
How
next
are
to our
they
ball
going to
carrier.
catch or run with a ball if they're constantly
Should give them
writhing
a very
around
easy
on the
chance
ground?
of getting a 1 dice. We're actually going to follow this one up as he has people there to mark. Now, since he isn't fielding the star player, he may actually want to stall scoring. As his pieces may wake up. Now he does take a 1 dice there with a non-blitzer, and there we go. We have a concede. Since that was so quick, we're actually going to spin another game here. We get MVP on the lineman. No level there, but all good and fine. I believe that actually might have been enough to replace our player. Yeah, so we can replace the lineman we lost. And we can even go so far as to get an extra one. I think we're going to do that. We're actually going to go for an extra player. And we're going to just spin another game here, as that wasn't really a game. Let's see if we can find a good one. Now, at the moment, there is not actually a punishment for conceding games other than your score going down. For the official ladder, that better change because it's starting to get harder and harder to actually finish games.
Good evening to all you sports
As
fans.
players will just leave as soon as things look dire. Now, if our opponent ends up leaving this one too, we'll probably call it there, but hopefully we can get a full game out. It does look like we are the ones down TV this time. And, oof, it's going to be a rough one. Our opponent does have 30 player, a block fend lineman. He has two block guard biggins with block on all the biggins. He has a blodge sure hands break tackle blitzer. That's a terrifying ball carrier right there. He has a kill blitzer with guard and mighty blow. He does have a tackle frenzy piece and a tackle mighty blow piece. Those are going to be dangerous for us to deal with. And he does have an extra player. Now, this is going to be a very rough game. We do have a decent amount of SPP. SPP. We have a decent amount of petty cash. Question is what we want to do with said petty cash. And I'm not all too sure, if I'm being completely honest. I was thinking we may want to take Roxanne and try to do some sideline shenanigans with Frenzy there. But with all the guard, it seems that's going to be very difficult. Probably just going to end up taking a biased ref and a wizard.
People often make the mistake of thinking that Blood Bowl is a team sport, but I'd say it's more like a big, fun-filled meat grinder.
Alrighty. Now, our opponent is giving himself the ball first. And we are actually going to be setting up a bit further back than usual, I believe. We do not want the tackle piece to absolutely destroy us. It's going to be a very interesting attrition game. We have no business winning. Now he does give loner to the tackle mighty blow blitzer. Even though we were pretty sure he was going to be using that piece for most of the game. And with our opponent having an extra player, even with a couple lucky knockouts, we're most likely going to always be down players. Now, our opponent actually scummed in a bribe. So I'm pretty happy with the biased referee grab. It seems like our opponent is willing to foul. Now, the biased referee is interesting because every time our opponent attempts a foul, that is not a send-off. There is a D6 roll. On a 5 or 6, player gets sent off. And then whenever we attempt to argue the call, we actually get a +1 to that roll, so it succeeds on a 5 or a 6. Now, most likely we are not going to be fouling, but having the extra chance of our opponent getting sent off when he fouls is very useful.
Hey!
You must realize, Jim, the ref is sacred. We don't criticize him, we don't kill him, we don't eat him, we don't talk to him.
Now,
ever.
vicious ref was off.
That's a good choice for this play.
And
Get up or
looks like
get
our
off the
guy on
field.
the line of scrimmage got stunned by it.
He's now in Free as a fart in a thunderstorm.
So he only gets to use the one Mighty Blow. He's probably going to blitz with this other Mighty Blow now, as the PC
Yes,
is going
they
to hit
picked up the ball.
now on the ground.
Whoopie-dee-doo.
Now, there's unfortunately not much we can do, as the guard's going to make it very hard to break through any cage. I'm going to have to just take a bit of a beating, I think, and hope we can hold out through it. Looks like our opponent is setting up for a foul right out the gate. Hopefully the officious ref
Talismans are us are
ends up paying
certainly
off.
making a splash on the used arcane item retail scene, right?
I'd say less of a splash and more of an incendiary fire. You just can't trust sorcerers.
He's going to be very good.
Ref's not looking. He's not looking. Get in there!
Now, he does have his dirty player lineman, so more than likely this lineman is not long for this world. Goes for the foul. It is doubles, so it is a send-off. And we are going to accept that KO. Now, is our opponent going to just instantly use his bribe? I believe he would. It's best use of it. And the bribe does work. So that's his bribe gone, and we now have 2 prayers of Nuffle that are to make up for it. Granted, the loners may not do much, and the other one is just SPP. Now, I am willing to throw our blitzers in there to try to create a little bit of chaos. Although I think on the right side, I'm actually going to send a catcher. I'll send a second piece onto the left side. And then we'll just screen off the front here so that our opponent can't just run straight through.
You can usually strangle them easily enough.
And if everything goes according to plan, we should be able to just wizard and steal the ball. Now, they did nerf Zap. It used to be much stronger. But it did feel like a lot of games were completely won off the back of the almost guaranteed Zap. So I don't mind the slight nerf to it.
I've often wondered, Bob, who'd win
Still a very
in a
powerful
fight between
inducement.
you and Morgan Thorg?
Contractually, I'm not allowed to say, Jump. Suffice to say that the matter has already been settled.
Now, the question is whether or not Fireball is more worth it. An argument to be made, especially against Strength 4 pieces. Zap has a higher chance of failing now, based on the opponent's strength. Fireball still has same odds, however. Looks like he is going to come up and blitz our catcher.
Hey, that guy looked almost
Mighty
competent.
Blow fails to do a thing again. And we do need to debate right now.
Stupid to trip up.
We should actually Fireball.
Bad for your head.
You have to
bad
queue it
for
up before your
pride.
opponent's turn ends. Looks like we may have queued it up a little too late. We have to ask whether or not turning him into a frog would have any impact here. If I'm not mistaken, most likely will do nothing. However, it could scatter. I believe we don't. I believe we just hold on to it for now. We are going to take our hits on the front over here, however, and just knock back pieces. And we're going to bring our pieces back to just stop forward movement. We are, however, going to leave the catchers in the back as threats to our opponent. We'll always have to be thinking about what we could do from behind him. Now, our opponent does have Fend. But he'd rather not use it as he wants us to follow him. We're not going to. But we could. It is an option given to us. And we're actually just going to dodge out elves and stay in our opponent's way. On the failed dodge, we'll just take it. Oof. Injury there is fairly rough. The leg started freaking out of it. And we do just have to be ready to see whether we want to fireball. I still think it's better to go for zap in most situations. When your opponent makes the cage, you know. Good old YouTube cage, it's just so tempting to hit right in the center of it with fireball.
To join skinks.
We're getting pretty lucky on our opponent's dice rolls. His mighty blow pieces are in fact not succeeding in their hits.
Now his body can move freely.
Oh dear.
I hope that player has written a will, Bob.
Written? Players can barely speak, Jim, let alone write. You should know. You've interviewed enough of them.
It does appear as though our opponent may not be going for a regular cage. If that is the case, we should fire. Especially if he moves over to the left over here. Now, it's not very intuitive, but the little glow around the fireball is how you know that it is selected to be activated at the immediate end of your opponent's turn. I'll admit it's not the greatest UI, as you have to queue it up before your opponent hits end turn, or you don't even get the option to use it. There is also a small visual bug with the fireball at the moment. And looks like we are going to get another KO here. Oof, but we do get the argue the call.
One of the coaches ignored the referees guild standard.
It appears as though the biased ref actually sent him off, although I don't think it actually shows you the dice roll for that. Interesting. And we are going to just take the fireball here.
Watch out, baby. It's gonna get hot.
And it looks like we're going to knock down the two pieces in the back. Not ideal at all.
I can't believe this. So many fails. What is this? A blind halflings match or something?
We are able to get a 1 dice, however, which we are most likely going to take. Oh, right. Our UI is now broken because of the fireball, so we have to count out our move. Again, not the greatest AI, or UI. And we're just going to very casually take a 1 dice here and use a reroll if we have to. And we don't. We actually just get the knockdown in 1 hit, and hopefully it scatters toward our side.
Smells weak.
It does scatter back, but there's only 1 person marking the ball, so we're probably going to take this chance to just run up. grab the ball, and then run out. One space.
He tries to secure the ball.
We do fail the pickup. Another bug if you were not aware. When the UI breaks, your option to reroll disappears. So that play is extra risky as we can't use the rerolls.
A good coach always
So
uses
sadly,
the right player for the right job.
looks like we would have had a good situation going. But now we are getting hit with a mighty low tackle, scattering the ball.
A prone player.
It is scattering in our favor, however. We're lucky, it looks as though maybe our opponent actually won't be able to stop us. Now, I've noticed that UI bug is usually only for the turn of the fireball. And it usually fixes more or less immediately. And we are going to see whether or not our opponent can actually knock us away from the ball completely or not. At the moment, if we can get our hands on it with this blitzer, we can actually get it to this catcher, and we should just be in the clear. Get out of here. It's a very close match, and not being able to use that reroll is very detrimental, as even getting that one step away would have been incredibly helpful. Now, he does come to blitz with the mighty blow piece. We do, however, have sidestep and dodge, so we will keep ourselves right smack dab on that ball. Also blocking our opponent from coming in to the left to mark it. And putting ourselves one step closer to our catcher. Our opponent does
There's only one word to say
come
about
over
this
here, and he does fail a knockdown, so he has to use a reroll. It appears as though he's most likely going to try to stick these two players onto the ball to make the pickup a bit harder. Although one of them would have to dodge away, so he is only going to get one player. Now, we are definitely not going to be able to knock that player away, as our opponent does have a guard piece fairly close. Oh, he fails a rush, however.
Down we go.
And scatters the ball. That is very unfortunate for us.
What a bunch of incompetent gits. If I had my way, I'd flog them all.
As you can see, our UI is now back. Very odd that it disappears for a singular turn. Now, interestingly enough, we actually do have a chance to knock down this biggin, so we can use our thrower to get the ball. Potentially get the ball just clear out of there. So I believe we're going to take that chance. Come this way. And we're going to come this way. We're going to take a 2-dice hit onto this biggin. You do get the knockdown.
That'll help the player move without risk.
And it is a rush. If we go into the pass interface, if we move one step closer, it becomes a much better hit. It is a follow-up rush, however. But in the situation we're in, we're a little desperate. So I believe we're actually going to take this. We fail the pickup. We can use a reroll here. We grab it. We throw the ball. We will use pass.
No!
And we fail.
Over the up! Oh!
Unfortunate.
Never mind.
I've seen some bad Blood Bowl matches in my time, and this is one of them.
Now we are in a very rough situation. We are in fact down 3 players at the moment. Only 2, counting our opponent being down 1 as well.
I think he's going to make him suffer.
But we are now very close. Now our opponent is out of reroll, so Snake Eyes for him is very, very dangerous.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a sandwich.
Thankfully, dodge is still being extremely useful skill for us.
Takes a skillful player to stay up under such a
The sidestep is allowing us to be incredibly slippery in his line of Black Orcs.
The player's on the ground, and it looks like he's about to get a kicking.
5 gold pieces says
Now,
he
it's
gets
not
kicked
always
in
the
face
best
first.
decision to rely on some random scatters, but we may actually just...
That's what I'm talking about.
Looks like our opponent actually picks up the ball, so we can take back what we said there. Now, after our opponent picks the ball back up, we are going to just go back into the full defense mode, where we are standing in his way. We are, however, going to try to take 1 free hit we can get. And we're going to try to get as many of our elves free as we can.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
Can't at the moment before any elves on the field. We actually kill his level 3 blitzer. He's definitely going to APO that. And he does get a seriously injured, which saves his life.
Career? But die and return to the pitch as a deceased player.
And we are going to hunt this away here and dodge away with our catcher just to save him a little bit of trouble there. Now, he is marked by a tackle piece, so dodge will not help. But we dodge away anyway, as we only fail on a 1, just like that one. Now our opponent is out of an apothecary, no rerolls. We have, however, also used the last of our rerolls.
That's a natty little move. Still, I'm willing to bet a good punch will have him face down in the mud.
It is a very dangerous situation for both players now. Any failed roll could result in just absolute sweep of the half. He is down one of his star players, and he's down his dirty player. Now, it would have been better if it was the other blitzer that had tackle in our case, but any piece we can remove like that is a welcome sight for this type of game. And thankfully, we've only actually been down linemen. We've done a very good job at protecting our pieces or getting lucky on hits. We did do a lot of this damage on the back of our wizard, however, so the second half without the wizard is going to be very challenging. Now, orcs do work on a fundamental principle of their pieces are in your way, you have to bash through. So every piece that they get down, bashing through becomes that much easier. They lose a lot of their strength and their armor just from one singular piece. Now, it's not as detrimental as black orcs, for example, where if they lose a black orc, they're down like 1/6 of the strength on their team. But it's still helpful nonetheless. He did have an extra player, so he's going to have the strength to back it up at least, just not the skills.
XL-sized cheese shake. Let's watch some Blood Bowl!
Unfortunately, he does have guard on both sides of the cage, so we can't even cage dive if we wanted to use that as an option. It does look like we are going to be in a very very hard spot here. Not much we could do to knock the ball out of his hands.
Surrounded by the opposing team.
He does move all these players in to stop the sidestep onto the ball, however. Now, we could have moved this way to get an easier hit onto the ball, which then would have been tagging a guard piece there.
Much further with players like that.
What we're going to do instead is we're going to bring all of our pieces up to the front here. And we're just going to continue to get in his way, basically. We're actually going to just create a nice little wall of elves as we go for a nice 2-dice blitz here to try to stick our blitzer into his face. Our opponent is the one on the clock with 2 turns, so we don't actually have to move all too much at all. We just need to, again, get in his way and stop him from getting full movement. So we're going to be alright with that one hit, and we're going to see what he does and see if we can take advantage of a misplay or two. The more we can get his guard pieces out of position, the easier of a time we'll have. Now, at the position we're in right now, he does only get 1 free hit, and he does get a blitz.
I've always been a fan.
Now, it is very easy for our
This is a
opponent to get
rather
3 dice on us at the
fetching
moment,
line of t-shirts.
as his player count is just that much higher. But again, with no rerolls, it only takes 1 failed block. And we do have a piece in the back that could potentially be a scoring threat that he has to be afraid of. It looks like he's going to move the ball into a position where I don't think he can cover the far side of it.
Cabal Vision HD
without
comes with
rushes.
a range of new features.
But with
Please
our
see
movement
your
speed, we
instruction
are
guide
actually going to be able to
for
get
further
there.
details.
Don't be stupid, Jim. Nobody ever reads the instructions.
Oof, he does just get the rush, however.
This formation gives them a safe progression. It's going to be hard to make them lose the ball.
Looks like he's just going to stand up some pieces. Is our opponent not planning on using his blitz for the turn? It appears not. Oh, he's actually going to come from the side over
He's
here.
about to get punched
He
above
does get
and
a
below the
knockdown.
belt.
It's very
At the same
unfortunate for us.
Oh, that player better get up. Nothing good comes from spending any time on the ground in this game.
And we are going to just move full movement. We block our opponent's path here. And again, we're just going to come in, and we're going to stick a piece into the face of our opponent. Fortunately, we can't put our Lodge Blitzer there.
Safety in numbers.
But in this situation, we're going to just have to take what we can get.
Come on, guys, together.
In this case, is a regular Blitzer.
How are they going to catch or run with a ball if they're
And then
constantly
we're going
writhing
to
around on the
move our
ground?
dodge piece into the path of our opponent. And just for good measure, we are going to move this piece up, and we're going to bring our thrower in case our opponent fails in action and drops the ball. Unfortunately, it is just one good blitz and
Pressure's
one
on, Jim.
semi-decent hit
What will they do?
from our opponent scoring, but I feel like we played fairly well this half. Could argue we could have saved the wizard a little bit longer. We weren't in a particular rush, but if that had knocked over even one more
argue with
piece,
that
or
ball,
knocked
can you,
over
No.
a different piece, would have had a much different outcome.
Damn, that water just won't go down.
Now, that actually does not open a path for our opponent with that blitz. He is going to have to dodge now to get through. And he does have the dodge ability on his blitzer, however. So he does get a free reroll for it. And he does, in fact, get it. Not even having to use... Oh, he actually gets break tackle dodge as well. Oof. That's right. That is a scary piece right there. And he is going to just strategically place all of his important pieces in the back so we don't get free hits on them. Now, our opponent is actually down a player at the moment. If our two knockout guys wake up, we will actually have the field advantage. And as we have the bias referee, we may actually want to take a foul on this turn, as insane as elves fouling sounds. But I believe we may actually want to do such a thing. So we're going to set up with that in mind. We're going to try to foul his lineman here that has actual semi-decent skills.
Nice present for the attacking
And
team.
we're going to just put our thrower under the ball to try to get that free SBP on a pass.
This player
And we're just
likes
going
to
to
be
hit
well assisted.
our easy to hit works here, I believe.
He got himself out of a dangerous situation.
Looks like we are, in fact, not going to be able to knock down some door
That
works.
could have been worse.
Although we do still have a blitz to knock him
It's going
back
to be
into us.
decisive.
But we are going to move down over this way. And we're going to blitz him straight back into our team. We are going to be able to knock him into
Now
all of our
the
elf players
in
here.
a thunderstorm.
Now, I am going to actually take the pass first, as it is a safer option.
Great pass. But can they capitalize?
We do get it, and then we're going to foul him with our lineman here. And unfortunately, it's not going to break armor, and we're going to leave this
Over
half
half the passes have failed. More
with
training
one of our
required.
KOs waking up. So we are
The coach
actually
needs
even
that.
on players with our opponent at the moment. Not the best situation to be in for the elves. Especially with all this guard and strength 4, our opponent most likely is just going to make a wall that we can't even break through. Now, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to force our opponent to try to commit to one side, and then leave an opening that we can take. However, with the way our opponent's been playing, I don't think he's going to give us such an easy opening to do such a thing. And he does realize he has the extra player over there. But we are going to just place the majority of our players fairly safely. See if we can convince our opponent we're going one way or the other.
Nice present for the attack.
We do get the high kick again.
Ouch!
We fail to catch this time, however.
Oh, too easy.
We're going to take our free hits, as per usual.
Now his buddy can do it. Count those teeth, Jim. They'll have to pick up most of them off the ground in a few seconds' time.
That player's a little short. Oh no, my mistake. He's on the ground.
We are going to make it appear as though we're going to go to the left side here. At the moment, I'm planning on trying to swing to the right.
The attacker has an assist.
I believe it's alright. We're going to just take the attacker down here.
Oh, too bad.
No. We do have to be careful of this frenzy piece over here. At the moment, it definitely appears as though we're swinging to the left, so our opponent may overcommit. Although he may just stay in the middle, which would be the correct play.
Do you miss the old days of playing in the NAF, Bob?
Not really, Jim. A lot more rules in them days. You couldn't just walk into the crowd on a murderous rampage. No, you had to ask permission, fill out a form, and triplicate. These players have got it so lucky.
Let's get a couple free hits. And some important pieces here. Fortunate.
Push the stronger player back. That'll do.
He chooses to push, which means he's going to try to blitz out. He's going to fail that dodge. He rerolls it and then fails the rushes. What is he doing? He's mad. He uses 2 rerolls for this.
A good coach always uses
And then
right player,
doesn't even
right
get the
job.
surf. That is unfortunate. Oh, but he does get the injury. Oh. We are going to take the badly hurt there. 2 rerolls burned, however. I do not agree with that play. That was very greedy on our opponent's part. And it looks like our opponent is actually just going to give us a fairly easy chance to go around here. Just a couple dodges. We are going to map out. Exactly where we want everyone to be. Yeah, it's not too bad. We're going to just dodge away and bring all of our pieces up. take this first dodge here.
We
We do use our reroll there, so we're not actually going to really
They need
commit to
to
this
fire
just
a
yet.
player that can't dodge, or have them assassinated. Either solution.
We are in fact going to instead. That guard piece there is very dangerous. Now our opponent doesn't have a way of getting to the ball at the moment, so we can actually just position ourselves
Just
very
too
far
fast.
forward.
Break some legs, please. It's too speedy for my eyes.
We are going to just pick up the ball and move, I think, one step back. Oh, we're not going to blitz there.
They've grabbed the ball. A wise move, as it's quite fundamental to the game.
And we are going to just try to dodge away here to get a nice hit, I believe. Another option is we could blitz out with this piece here and counter serve. I believe we're going to try to do it. And we need a push. We do get it.
That's almost confident.
Now, the only piece to be worried about would be the frenzy piece, but he actually cannot reach to knock us out. So we're going to dodge away here. And we're going to fail that dodge, but that's alright. We have a couple pieces in very threatening positions for our opponent now. He does have to respect our ability to pass, as the Elven passer is one of the better ones. Now, with the new deflection rules, passing anything past the quick pass is very risky. However, we should be able to get around anything he puts in front of us.
Have you tried that Croxiade yet, Bob?
Now, he does come up to mark our blitzer, but even if he marks our catchers, they do have nerves of steel. So any piece marking them is not going to affect their catch at all. Our opponent is just running back really far. We are able to just move our thrower up a little bit.
Magazine, the periodical both players
He's going to use
and
frenzy
fans
on our
read.
blitzer here.
Oh, look at this!
But with
Are they
sidestep, we're able to just
dancing
pick the
or
direction.
fighting?
Although it looks like we are just going to get knocked out right out of the gate. Very unfortunate. Our opponent does get to decide if he wants to go right in front of our catcher and make our dodges out a bit harder. More than likely, that's what he's going to do. Oh gosh, we're losing pieces left and right. We're going down. More than likely, he'll get in the catcher's way. He does do exactly that. I believe that is still our
To join Skate's
best
Fitness
chance
Club,
out of this
all
game,
you need-
however, so we're probably going to just
He seems a little stunned, doesn't he?
take that. Well, he actually can't reach us with any of his players, so we're just gonna move our passer up, I believe. Yeah. We're actually gonna threaten alignment on the left side here. And dodge away with our catchers down the middle, I believe. Just to give us the most odds of getting around. Gonna move. Down here, slightly out of everyone else's range. And we're going to dodge out this other catcher. As well as this blitzer. And now our opponent has to worry about every possible pass and handoff that we can make.
That's a good choice for this play.
Looks like the players have finally remembered we're not
Opponent doesn't
playing
blitz at the
soccer.
big end to mark us, so he may have to use rushes to mark our thrower if he even wants to. And it's a fail of a hit there. Our blitzer stays standing. Now, if he doesn't block over to the left here, we can actually just go with our lineman to score. Everyone always forgets, but the linemen have the same odds to catch. Not any worse. Just have worse odds of throwing now. And they don't have the catch automatic reroll, but if you have a reroll in the bank, then there we are.
Talismans R Us are certainly making a splash on the used arcane item retail scene late.
I'd say less of a splash and more of an incendiary fire. You just can't trust sorcerers.
Looks like that's going to be our best play, I believe. He does come to mark. In that case, I believe our best play is just to pass to this catcher over here. Now, we can make the odds a bit better with a double rush. We're going to do one rush at a time. Do you get them? Go for the pass. It's a 3+. Intercept and catch is in the way,
There
but
goes the ball spinning above the field, but can it be plucked out of the air
We
like
check.
an overripe fruit?
we do catch the ball, and then it just takes a dodge,
Sorry, I mean...
and we score to tie up the game.
What a great play! Touchdown!
And our knocked out player does wake up, so we do have our whole ability to hold our opponent back again. This time we're going to go for a bit more of a wide net, I believe, as our opponent is down player this time. Unfortunately, even down a player, his strength advantage is very much there. Should have a pretty decent chance of keeping this game tied. We may even have a chance to steal the ball and win it for ourselves. Now, inducements are there to help with the TV difference, but at the end of the day, having the skills that you picked yourself is much, much better. Now, this is going to be a very challenging ability to hold the ball back. That's for sure.
Both teams are on edge. This kick is crucial. Used well, it could be a big advantage over the opposition.
Now the ball being all the way in the back there is actually a great kick for us. Couldn't be happier. Going to take our opponent 2 turns just to recover it. Bring it down the field. He's also going to have to give up his wall to a small extent and push himself further back.
Any problems you may have are surely coincidental.
Isn't that the company that you owe a great deal of bad gambling debts
A kick like
to?
that is exactly why kick is so useful on this team.
That has nothing.
Increasing the odds of making that happen often is it's a huge impact. This Frenzy Blitzer gets another knockout here. Guy's a menace with tackle.
Now his body can move freely.
Interesting progression to see one of them
They've got the
being tackled
advantage,
and one of them
but there
being
is
mighty
no
low.
sure thing in blood, though.
He must have been going against a lot of dodge teams who just got fed up with it. I do believe getting a tackle piece before the mighty blow piece is probably correct. Because dealing with blodge, even a single blodge piece early enough, it's just an absolute nightmare.
Now it's just a simple matter of getting the ball at their
Looks like he fails the pickup, which is
never simple.
huge for us. It creates so much more time.
Now's the time, Jim. If
We
one of
are
the teams
actually
gonna
going
play
to
hidden up their collective sleep, then they need to
knock
action
out
it
his
before time
blitzer
runs
up
out.
here. I'm just going to keep his pieces
Now
as
it's
far
free as a
back as
fork
we
in a
can and
thunderstorm.
buy ourselves time while we move up 1 or 2 of our catchers to kind of threat ball steal if he fails to pick up again. But right now, the main goal is to play for the tie.
Streak of something, Jim. But I
With a
wouldn't
TV
call it
difference
a-
this great, a tie is an incredibly good outcome for us. We do need to remember that his piece does have the dodge break tackle combo. It is going to be very hard to keep that piece contained. With the break tackle changes, taking it on even a strength 3 piece is incredibly useful now. Just giving +1 to the dodge. Incredible. May as well treat it like a mutation at that point. Although the mutations are
Great game so
permanent,
far.
break tackle would only be for
They
1
seem to be
dodge.
having a little dull moment, but it'll pick up any second now, I promise.
He is going to use his tackle mighty low piece to knock out our catcher. Going to fail the hit with that piece, but he does get another follow-up hit. A 3 dice hit, no less.
Anytime soon.
Without tackle, however, but it does have block. Our opponent is now getting very scared of the possibility of failing a second pickup, as we could just swipe the game right out from underneath him. Oh, he actually fails to get the knockdown with the 3 dice. And just like that, he doesn't really have a cage set up.
Thirsty, Bob?
Always, Jim.
Well, how about a refreshing glass of Bloodweiser?
More the merrier.
Let's see if he gets that pickup.
The ball is in the player's hands. What next?
With sure hands, he does get the reroll and pick it up successfully. forget, free rerolls are incredibly useful. That's why skills are so important. Not to mention shorthand stopping strip ball. Absolutely one of the greater skills in the game. And we're actually going to stick one of our players onto the ball, I believe. That is most likely going to cause the most amount of chaos for our opponent. As well as just get a nice clean hit on his blitzer over here. And we are going to be able to make that player a blitzer. Unfortunately, it is not going to be the blodge blitzer. It will be a blitzer all the same.
Unity is strength.
We are going to stun. Oh, we're going to knock that piece out as well. So we're going to have a fairly good chance of keeping our player on the ball, maybe.
At the same time.
And we are actually going to knock out his tackle mighty blow as well.
Don't let them.
Oh my gosh, we're actually very far up in piece advantage now. We actually might have a decent chance of stealing this game right from under his nose.
The enemy's close. Will it make a difference?
He's only down to 2 guard as well, so the strength difference is starting to fall apart. And it's all about just minimizing how many times he gets to hit you. We have gotten very lucky on Mighty Blow hits, not doing as much damage as they probably should be doing. But every single hit that you take away from your opponent is a chance that your elf stays on the pitch.
You can't argue with that call, can you,
And he
Bob?
does get a decent amount of free hits on us. That is a big one with blocks, so he does have the block as an
They
option.
just got doomed!
That's what the cool kids are saying these days, isn't it?
The attacker has an assist.
I don't believe he's going to have a safe place to move
Don't
the
get angry.
ball to, however.
You wouldn't like them when they get angry.
We have our
Joking.
thrower in a not
Fair
ideal
enough.
spot, as he's most likely going to run down here. You don't necessarily need the thrower to be the one that hands the ball off. And I just wanted to double check here. The Prayer of Knuckles don't... Ooh, some of them are for the whole match. And some... Ah, I see. It's an interesting system. So the one that we get for passes, still 2 SPP for the whole match. Our opponent is trying to think of where he can stick this ball to keep it safe. And not too sure he has a good option for that. He actually makes a dodge here.
Great.
He re-rolls to get him safe.
Balls would struggle to dodge through that defensive line.
And he's probably going to do the same with the ball carrier. A break tackle dodge re-roll.
A temerity really.
Oh, and it fails! The ball is now loose on the ground. And we have a fairly easy chance to score it here. We just need to get one dodge, I believe. Yeah, that's what it looks like. We're actually going to just blitz here to free the ball.
That'll help the player move without
Going to keep an
risk.
elf here
They'll need
and
to
mark
scoop
the
up that
space
ball
just in
quickly.
case things go a little bit wrong. We're going to mark this player as a handoff. We're going to come in, pick up the ball, and we're going to hand it to our blitzer.
Nice. Very nice.
We have a reroll here for the pickup,
You know, at some point,
and we roll the snakes, but we catch it on the other player.
ball. Let it oil.
The ball is
Not
in our
wait for
hands. We have
double
one more turn. It seems like worst case scenario, we're getting a tie here. Our opponent does not, I don't think he even has the ability. He would have to make double going for it with this orc lineman or this big in blocker all the way down both turns. Even have a chance. of scoring. So we're getting that tie most likely. He has no rerolls, remember. And he does need to blitz the ball out of our hands still. And regardless of which direction he does it from, it doesn't look like he has very good scatters. His best scatter is probably from up here.
The Bank of Altdorf. It's said there is no safer place for your money.
That's because they share the vault with the Gold Wizard. What's that?
He does get the knockdown on the ball, so it is going to scatter, hopefully, all over the place. Ooh, our catcher does get injured on
What on earth is going on?
last turn here.
You're crying.
It's just a miss next match,
I
though.
cry for happy. It's music to my ears. The cracking of the bones, the groans of pain, the blood.
Now, it is a very odd scatter. And he rolls the double skulls. Our opponent must be furious at the moment.
Turnover.
What a bunch of incompetent gits. If I had my way, I'd flog them all.
It's one reroll. Dang. If this knocks him down, oof, reroll there. All right.
If I had a gold
So we
club
can
for
come
every
in
player I've
here.
seen lying on the field during my career, well, I could start my own team. You only need 1,000,000 gold, right?
Oof, that's another reroll, however. Let me use our dodge piece here. Dodge out.
Hey, things are getting
Then
interesting.
we're going to blitz with our blitzer to free up the ball. Also our thrower.
Should they be stomping on the player's neck with those studded boots that hard?
And we're going to mark up a handoff here. We're going to go pick up the ball, bring it up, and give it into the hands of the catcher.
Scoops up the ball with ease. Nothing can scare
He's going to pick it up, and we're going to go and score for the win for this game.
That's a
I
touchdown.
cannot believe
I'm
it.
so excited my heart nearly started beating again.
This was one hell of a game. We're going to keep all of our pieces that are important all the way in the back. We're not risking any more of those horrible hits. We got so lucky with injuries this game. We're going to give him our 3 linemen as fodder, and we're going to give him an incitement. We are extremely excited and happy for how this game turned out. I cannot believe that we pulled out a win. Oof, those key KOs right at the end were absolutely the game changer. If he had even one more piece in the way, there was no chance that we were going to be able to pull that off.
Players are
Opponent
going
gets
to
a quick snap, but that's going to be game. We're just going to give him his free hits on our line elves on the front here, so he can farm some SPP.
I should probably say something
And we're
meaningful
going
to all
to
our
go out
Cabal
of this
Vision
one
viewers.
pretty happy with the
All I can think
outcome,
of is
even if all 3 of these linemen die right here. This has been a great turnaround.
Hey, that play looked almost competent.
I'm starting to wonder if the wizard is even worth taking after the nerfs. I know it's still very strong, and zapping a 3-strength piece is bound to work most of the time. I think it's slightly worse odds than the old wizard. But arguably, it might just be better to pick up a
Is this gonna be
mercenary
enough
with a
to come
random
out on
skill.
top?
I want to know your guys' opinions on that one. Let me know down in the comments whether wizard is actually
They've picked up the ball. I suppose I should say something
Worth taking.
memorable. Or...
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to be the game. We're going to go look. We actually got MVP on our leveled catcher, which is amazing. We got such a good amount of SPP in this game. And we're going to go look at our team and all the level ups we can do now. We are going to be missing a catcher for a game. that's not the end of the world. He does actually have 6 SPP, so he is able to pick up a skill. He's going to be picking up dodge as well. Or we may actually give him diving catch. Now they did change this to not work for cage divers, I believe. Then again, we should probably get a cage diver first. You know what, in this situation, after seeing how much it helped our opponent, I think we're actually going to pick up tackle on this guy. Start leaning him toward more of a cage diving piece. I feel like if we went against a dodge team right now, it would actually be very dangerous for us. We're going to pick up that tackle on a catcher. Our blitzers are going to be more the general hitters. I think we're going to use our catchers to be specialized. We're going to have 2 just designated catchers for sure. And I believe the second level up, plus 8 SPP, correct? Okay, so we do not actually have any more levels here. But we're going to just call that as a good outcome. We're going to be happy with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a very long video because of the first concession. So I will see you guys again in the next episode.